City.
Someday we gon' make a million. Working hard every day to see a million. It don't matter how hard we try. Just look yourself right in the eye and know now is the time. Someday we gon' make a million. Working hard every day to see a million. It don't matter how hard we try. Gotta give all while we alive. No, now is the time. Day to day, we pray. We had some long nights and some long days. Wearing my K-Swiss while the other kids wearing J's while we played. Shit, it was just another day. But I always knew my mama was gonna find our way. She passed the torch so I can finish with brighter days. Gotta live and pay, I pay, and I don't wanna say, because I can't take my millions to my grave. Someday we gon' make a million. Working for every day. See a million. It don't matter how hard we try. Gotta give our all while we alive. No,
It's like we
it's
take
the
it 2 steps
time.
forward and 1 step back, and every time I look up, it look like I get pushed back. You can't be back. I'm telling myself, who am I kidding? Am I feeling myself? Same cycle, am I gelling myself? Like goddamn, I won't change the word connotation. I hate it on money and change. We wanna be heard, we don't care about money and fame. And when it do come, we'll adjust to what's our fate. Now this our take, regime it do consist of persistent. Our future is bright and lucrative, and we don't need to rob Peter to pay Paul. Work hard, well no days all will pay off. Get to work, study grace and take off. Man, the best in the track and that's long. Ain't no breaks and no stopping to say all. This is our time and it's all. Some say they see our potential.
Working hard every day to see a million. It don't matter how hard we try. Gotta give our all while we alive. And know now is the time.
Live. From the bottom, then I won't go back. That's why I do it for my city. I do it for my city. Amen. Y'all know how we do it. This is another blessed episode of Smoke and Talk. I am your host, Zoe Vanguard. I'm your girlfriend's boyfriend. I do this shit for the north side, the west side, the south side, the east side, 636, St. Charles, you know, all around this great city of ours. As long as you hold down the arch, I swear to God, we hold it down with you and for you each and every day, but especially on Mondays and Wednesdays, right? On Mondays and Wednesdays, we got Smoke and Talk, man. I get to sit down with the culture in the underground and see what's going on and get in their business. Not in their personal business, but how they got started, where they come from, and all that good shit, right? We started Smoke and Talk. I'm finna tell you why we started Smoke and Talk. Because over the last 20-something years, it's so many great people in our city, whether it's a comedian, whether it's a rapper. Over the years, they put a lot of work in. They traveled around the country, did all kind of shows, brought the people together, motivated the city, right? Even motivated me, right? So I had to keep it real. So and as they motivated me, I watched them go across and do all this great shit. In my mind, I'm wondering, like, why the fuck they ain't rich? Why the fuck they ain't driving these Bentleys? Why they ain't got these motherfucking mansions that they supposed to have, right? Because I see them better than all these people that I see out of town and on TV, right? So they ain't give us that, right? Because we ain't got no motherfucking Universal here. We ain't got no Priority here. We ain't got none of them big ass buildings here, right? So since we don't have that, we created Smoke and Talk and let the people know we appreciate every single thing they've done for us. I swear to God, thank you for every motivation. Thank you for everything. Our flowers, we give them to you because you deserve it. Thank you. And if they did have that here, them brothers and sisters will have lots of shit because they most definitely deserve it. I say it with passion every single time because every single time I fucking mean it. And while we giving flowers, we start giving props. And the props are the ones who are doing it right now. The younger people, right? The youth, the ones who putting the work in. Because I'm going to say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Today's underground, and I want to say society of all underground, they are sticking together. They are networking. They are doing more numbers than we have ever done in St. Louis. So I have to give them young people their props. I swear to God, because that's what it's all about, coming together and standing up for the city. There's no better way. We have suffered for the last 24 years before 60 Red came up, right? Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? Like we can't wait 24 more years. So on Smoke and Talk, we got what you call the 24 law. And we'll get into that later. But I'm giving props right now what props is due. While I started my show, I don't call it a podcast because a podcast got mics in your face and all that kind of shit. We don't do that. It's more of an intimate setting. We don't got a bunch of people sitting around to disturb the people that we're interviewing, right? And we enjoy the interview. With that being said, man, we are making a way for St. Louis. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. Not rappers, not just singers, not just comedians, but business owners, nonprofit organization. All the people that's making food for people that's home. You know, everybody that deserves to have props given. This is what it's about, because it's about making people St. Louis famous again. And one thing about making people St. Louis famous again, we got to start by telling people we're proud of. We see you and thank you for what you're doing. Right? So that's where we at. And Smoke and Talk today, man. Look, man, I got a special guest on the show, right? 2 special guests. And y'all be like, Zoe Van Gogh, here you go with this special guest shit. Damn right. All my guests are special because when they get up out this seat, they show you who they are, how unique they are, right? Before I get to my guest, I'll get to my co-host. Welcome to the show. What's going on, Miss Candace Bailey? Welcome to the show. What's up with you?
Thank you, Zoe.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Still real excited about yesterday. I won the Grind Award.
Yeah.
Award.
Yeah,
So
everybody been talking about that.
I'm still real and like just excited about that. Just happy to be recognized.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm doing swell.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Your energy feel good right here, so I know you're doing all right, right?
Yeah.
So today what we're gonna do is I usually introduce my guest. So you the co-host, you got the guest, so we're gonna give it to you today.
All right,
Introduce this guest.
so today we got comedian Jason Nelson.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, man. I've been hanging out with comedians a while for the last couple of months, man. And I mean, I've been enjoying it. I ain't gonna lie. I've been learning a lot about the comedian world, right? Yeah.
Like
Shout
how
out
serious
to him.
we are, despite we try to be funny all the time.
Yeah. Yes, man. Let's start the show off with that, right? All right. This what I did learn. Y'all are some funny motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
But y'all serious. Like, as a motherfucker insider. I didn't know all of that at first. Like, so now I always respect it because I fuck with all the comedians and shit, right? But I didn't know how serious it was over there because I ain't kind of personally being people's business because it ain't my field over there.
Yeah.
But the last couple of months, I have learned that y'all have a serious motherfucking field over there.
Yeah, keep in mind the symbolism for comedy is like a happy face, but a sad face behind it. So most time when we making you laugh, we telling you some disturbing shit, some negative shit, some bad shit, some horrific shit.
Yeah.
But people laughing because it ain't them, or it may remind them of them in at a particular moment of their life. So, John Lithgow got this quote where he said you can't spell paint without pain. So that doesn't mean that comedians have to be negative, dark, or nothing, but that's just an aspect of some of our personality traits.
Gotcha. So, all right, question. Your name, right? That's your real name?
Real name.
Okay, so I can't ask you the question.
Now you guys, I went through stages. It's been a journey.
It's just a question about artists I have. You good. So my next question is gonna be, before we go a little further off into your life, right? I like to kind of like understand who I'm dealing with, right? I'm the mayor of St. Louis, right? And I feel like I'm supposed to know everybody.
Okay.
But I don't. That's just me and what I feel, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know you, right? So it's one of my favorite parts of the show where I don't know somebody. So I get to know you a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions just to get the interview going, right? I want you to be comfortable with this shit because I don't ask no negative shit. I don't do none of that shit on the show. This platform ain't for none of that kind of shit. Right?
Yeah.
So we gonna get past the name. Were you born and raised here in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Where you was at around this?
Well, I went to 12, 13 different schools growing up, so I lived a little bit all over. A big chunk between North County, some in the north, some in the west, even Creve Coeur due to living in group homes out there.
Yeah.
And then by the time I graduated high school, I came out of ACE program via Riverview, but my older brother became my foster parent.
Oh, okay.
So I
Shout out
never
to your
lived
brother.
nowhere long enough to have a designated spot to say it was my neighborhood. So I used to feel left out when Lil Jon used to play back in the day. He was like, throw your hood up. I had nowhere to represent. I mean, I wasn't a nigga that was going to stand in the crowd either way when Lil Jon came on. I always had to conveniently go pee when Lil Jon voice came on. I knew my role and I played it.
Nah, I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm laughing with you, right? I ain't laughing at you because you just said
Now, you like one of the niggas who used to make fun of me when I was
these
at the
motherfuckers take their
limelight.
pain and turn it out, right? Yeah. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you. I fuck with you. Hey, man, look, I'm one of the ones, man, in life, right? Everything I've been through, I tell a person I'm not ashamed about shit I haven't done and been through, right? Because you grow from it, right? Yeah. So I'm kind of like you, man, but I just don't tell it in a joke.
No, I understand.
Nah, so I feel you, bro, real shit. Because growing up in St. Louis, man, is a motherfucker. But you said 13 different schools.
your brother ended up being your foster parents. I want to give a shout out to that brother too. Right?
Yeah, shout out to my
For
brother
stepping up
Mark.
and doing
Yeah,
it.
shout out to Mark Welch.
Yeah.
He blocked me on his phone right now. He mad at stuff I did.
Nah, he
the
did his part.
last
He
3
did
or 4
his part.
years because I was drunk.
Damn.
Sad.
Yeah. So you back, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing better. Like if that part of the table is not healed and that's completely healed,
Yeah.
I'm probably a little bit above the middle.
Well,
If
well,
I could be honest and
Well,
transparent.
That's how you supposed to be. It's the one show.
Yeah.
This is why I started calling the one show. It's the one show where you can be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Whether you got a speech impediment, but you barely can rap.
Damn, I do got one a little bit.
I got one too.
I slur and mumble.
That's part of the rules.
My mama, she from Korea, but she slurred too. So
Oh, okay.
that's what y'all teach me English.
Okay.
That's what
It's
but my mama
man.
from Korea though.
Shout out to you, brother.
My dad black.
Be yourself on this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I swear to God, man. We embracing it on
Yeah.
it, man. Because like you gotta let people know, right? On the one show and the Smoker Talk, I travel.
Mhm.
So I go to different states and sit down and people do the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And different people watching us on her.
Right.
So when they watching, I be wanting y'all to be yourself. I be wanting y'all to represent y'all part of the city y'all from. I be wanting y'all to tell y'all a story because you got people who check y'all to follow you from.
Yeah. No, I understand.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
be yourself, bro. We ain't knocking none of that, bro. I'm gonna be laughing in a minute with you. So
I mean,
Yeah.
like, not only did I live in a group home, but I also worked in that field too, between here and Kansas City,
Okay.
between Catholic Charities. Then I spent most of my time in that field on the Cornerstones of Care. I spent a little time at Annie Malone last year, but you know, I was still in the part of my own process of healing, and I wasn't in the stage of having empathy for other people at that time. I would say my self-love stage.
So you saying like you was working there last year? You saying?
I worked at quite a few
Okay,
organizations.
now making sure like
But no. I was
in there.
there when I returned back to St. Louis. I was there for a while, but I was going inside the schools teaching curriculum about regulating your emotions to like elementary school kids. But see, when I was a kid and I lived in a group home, like the first one was Echo off Euclid and Lavender.
Yeah, I
You
know
know,
about
yeah. So I remember saying like, "Why me?" Because I was in a locked dorm, though I didn't do nothing to be put in there. I showed
Yeah.
the school with black eyes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then I got put in the home. But 10 years later, I ended up working with kids in group homes. But that's the same year I started doing stand-up comedy at the same time.
Okay.
It was like this parallel of when I started doing it.
So man, okay, I got you. All right.
Yeah.
So you got the speaking with children in different group homes, right?
Well, worked in as a youth care.
Working with group homes?
Yeah.
Got you.
Between here and Kansas City.
What inspired you to get into that, bro?
Well, I was a kid in a group home.
Got you.
So I went to about 4 different group homes growing up until my older brother, one day he just showed up. I hadn't seen him, my mother, and my sister pretty much since I was 8 years old. And then I was almost 17. And when he got me, and then I went from living in the group home to I got to be in a regular bedroom for the first time, and then in a long time. Then I was moving pretty fast, but I was kind of socially behind. If you ever know anybody who's been institutionalized, whether it's in incarceration or group home, children home, you know, we kind of, not all, but we kind of be very introspective, but we be socially behind. So when I went at 13, I
Yeah.
came out at 13.
Now I understand that.
Yeah, so it's like,
I clearly understand
because I remember my brother, I was going outside in Glasgow Village, and he was like, I was going outside, he's like, what you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna go outside and play. I said, play? Nigga, you 17. But that's what I did when I lived in America. We try to get outside, you know.
Yeah, the fuck you tell me you been go outside and play, right? I got you.
Yeah.
No, I got you. I understand.
I mean, everybody else was running trains with bitches, but I was really trying to play video games. I was like hella behind. It's crazy.
Yeah, you ain't want to do none of that. You just trying to get
My
on the
bad, I didn't
game.
say the people.
I was gonna say, would
That
you
was
be
a
behind?
that was a use to the.
What I was gonna say, if you feel like you was behind, maybe it was just your interest of playing video games. You know what I mean?
Well, I just wanted to have.
Nah,
a sense-
what he said is true though, Candace. When you been locked up before, when you go to jail or anything like that, right? And what he's saying is group home and all that.
when you come home,
Your
you
mind,
kind of
it's like with using
I
drugs,
understood
right? That's a
that,
known
yeah.
fact. When you start using drugs or anything like that, and heavily using for years, wherever you start at, that's where your mind stop at growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even though you
yeah, I
develop a
understand.
habit of being very introspective with your engagement with people, because all you do is observe people. You got to watch
Right.
patterns, the energy, the vibes. But when it came to maturity,
tell the truth.
like because in the institution,
Shout out to you, brother.
oh,
Shout out
this
to
is
you,
my
Candace.
bullshit,
Yeah.
but shout out to you. I appreciate it. Well, thank you. You on some toast.
Brother, come on, grab you some of this. One.
Oh shit!
You ain't drinking?
But the thing about it is, you know, like when I got a video game from my brother, I remember he got the PS2 and then the Xbox. He really was trying to spoil me. I'm not gonna lie, but he was just 21, 22, and he was using me to get girls and women. I mean, he was already getting women. He was voted best looking in high school in McClure in '97.
Yeah.
He came from a whole group of guys. one of his best friends was named Troy Taylor, who was voted best dressed. He got killed in his house in 2000. My brother was supposed to have been with him that night, but he was running late, picking me up from Mary Grove and trying to give me some food. But if not, he would have been in that car with him the day he got murdered.
Damn.
And I have to think about what would have happened to my life if my brother didn't get me and he was with that person. But his partner, Nick Butler, he started a nonprofit organization called the Troy Center out in Fresno, and it goes to parts of California. They do a
Fresno. Okay.
yeah, because he went to college out there,
Gotcha.
and then named after Troy. Unfortunately, his daughter never got to really spend time with him because he was killed. He wasn't a street guy, but he was very flashy. But then again, you don't know everything about everybody. But they all went to McClure, grew up in the Ferguson, Berkeley area, which I guess it was a crazy time for Berkeley, like in the 80s, 90s and stuff, maybe parts of 2000.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But shout out to my brother for putting his life on the line for me. He did that a big chunk of my life.
But you gotta realize one thing you said, bro. Like your brother would have been in that car if he didn't have custody of you.
Mm-hmm.
See that?
Well, at that time, we were just doing visitation. Yeah, so I hadn't been home or.
He was finna pick you up, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we was working on transitioning from me living in the home to moving with him.
Gotcha.
So I had been in the home to that point, so I was about 13 when I got removed from my father's house. So I've been living with since 1992, and I ain't seen them since they took me from my mom, or got me from my mom rather. And then so it was like a weird transition itself. But my brother, he was doing the best he could, which the way the guy works, the reason why he's able to get a house because he lived with his uncle. And my brother dropped out of college in Flo Valley, but his uncle, his name was Ronnie Johnson. He had the Emma off Shreve and Bertram across from the I-70 Motors, which is Donnie, was his brother. And he was married to my Aunt Shelby. And my brother dropped out of college. Said, since you dropped out, now you got to pay rent. So my brother, who had a sports car working at the May company at that time, went to the bank to refinance his vehicle. And even though he was only making like $7, maybe $8 an hour, they told him he qualified for first-time home buyers. And that's how he got his first house. I've been moving in with some chick that he went to school with. You know, they was high school sweethearts type of stuff. They had some young situations, and that opened the door for him to get me. And ironically, the way the guy worked, once my brother started learning about credit and real estate, he got a second house. That's how we moved to Glasgow Village. And my mama, who suddenly became homeless, who struggled with, and I don't want to be disrespectful to her, I did go through that stage, but she struggled with domestic violence, substance abuse, alcohol for a moment, coming out of domestically abusive relationships and stuff like that. But she suddenly needed a place to stay. But by law, she wasn't supposed to be around me. So when my social worker used to come around, we used to have to hide in the closet, all kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's like God always give you exactly what you need when you need it. You know.
So do you and your brother have the same mother and father?
Just same mother. We got different fathers. My mother got married twice. First time as a teenager. She was living in Walnut Park. She used to joke that this lady named China Dow was her cousin, which is an undercover police officer who used to do drugs.
Yeah,
you know, my mom stayed on
West Coast. Lady.
Yeah, my mom she was wild. She was outside though. She always liked older men, but now she's about to be 70, so I don't know how much older they can get. I like let these niggas got to be dead.
I saw your mom on Facebook.
Yeah, and she's very funny.
She's pretty.
She's very funny. She was outside for sure.
For sure.
I'm talking about it's nowhere I can go now where niggas don't know my mama. But these niggas like 60 and 70 and 80, so I can't say nothing because they on the birthday.
You can't disrespect them.
I'm like, damn, nigga, you ain't gotta let me know, you fuck nigga. You know, she was outside. But she got with my brother's father as a teenager.
Oh my man, something
he
wrong with y'all, man.
He was older, but they got together, got married. That didn't work. My mama said she only married him because she was trying to get out the house. She was a kid, pretty much. Yeah. And then when she got my father, she thought they was a match made in heaven. But really, they both, like, my name is Nelson. My grandparents had a store off Newstead in Lexington called Nelson Brothers Food Shop. You know what I'm saying? I used to spend a lot of time at Julius Davis Library, and then we used to go to Billy Burke's further down and go to, when I visited my grandparents, we went to St. James A&E further down. I think that's off Kennerly. Yeah. But see, they both was kind of spoiled for people from their community. So a lot of people used to be cool with my dad because his grandparents had a store. So he got into stuff he didn't need to. He used to love hanging out speakeasy, but he wasn't that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? And then my mama, who was spoiled, her parents buying her cars and whatever, paying for her rent. So they didn't really have real friends around them. So her and my dad was actually very similar, but she always talks about how they met. They was at the car wash off Halls Ferry when it used to be Dairy Made over there. You know, with the Popeyes, I think it's closed. It used to be kept Long John Silver.
Long John Silver right
there. She said my dad walked up to her and asked her for change for $1 right behind the change machine. And then she was dating a guy named Michael that they used to call Big Lips. And then my mom used to stay in Charvelle's apartments. And my dad, and this is
That's
probably where I
so
get some of
good.
my simping from,
Yeah.
because he
That is
is
not simple.
no, he is the type that will call your phone, leave a voice message with music playing in the background.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wonder why I be so nice.
But why is that
No,
simple?
but this is what my dad did. Instead of just going about his business,
Yeah.
and because my mom wasn't talking to somebody else, he showed up where her and the other man was at and just sat there till the man left. He even ordered pizza.
Damn.
But on the flip side, he ended up leaving my mom for a woman that was 8 years older than her. Her name was Lorene Bowles, Lorene James, Lorene Lyons. She had a bunch of different last names.
So, like, how
But,
the fuck do you know all these people's names?
I got
That's fucking real.
Well,
You
what
calling people
But
first
what
name,
it is, I got,
This is crazy
I
shit,
got a hell
bro.
of a memory.
Do your thing,
Yeah.
brother.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I like, even though I do write, I don't have to write as much because
Yeah.
you know what
Lorraine
he
Bobbitt.
said. What he said? Some of y'all, what he said? You rhyme, I just recollect some shit like that. But the thing about it is, you know, I'm talking about the lyric of Jeezy from Thug Motivation.
Yeah,
101.
yeah, yeah.
He says, y'all just what y'all. He said, y'all rap or rhyme, I just recollect. Hands
Mhm.
down, Jeezy really counted them. So,
And who was counting them checks?
I mean, that's what part of the lyrics.
Oh, okay. Nah, I know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
part of
but
lyrics.
but he said he just recollect. So for me, you know, my dad, besides my ears being big, he said I had a memory like an elephant. But he also used to call me voice recorder. He said because I
Remember everything.
yeah, and I repeated
Damn.
but when I was a kid. But he also called me slowpoke and turtle too.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is,
Yeah, you got 70 names.
yeah, my dad, yeah, the bitch ass nigga, not his. It's crazy. This is unlimited.
Is your
Well-
dad, is your father still alive?
Last time I heard, you know what I'm saying? I know he turned 70 in August. I always, despite the things that happen, I have intervals where I try to extend an olive branch or communicate. Like when I was living in Kansas City and I was married, I used to offer to come get him, pay for everything, or send a train, whatever he needed. I just wanted him to be a part of my life. But for whatever reason, not to discredit him, he just never took me upon my offers. And you know what I'm saying? One thing I give my mom credit for, and I had a lot of hatred towards my mom for a long time because there was a lot of anger. I was a mama's boy. I didn't really look at my dad as being the provider, the protector when I was a little kid. And when my dad got me, she never came and got me. And then when I got in a group home, she could never put whatever she had going on that I didn't understand at that time period.
Yeah.
She couldn't put the things down to come and get me. And so when I did get reintroduced to her, as much as I loved her, I had a lot of anger towards her. And it used to display in my comedy in the way that I used to speak on her and stuff like that. But I will say, by the grace of God, he allowed me to live long enough to do better, forgive. And one thing that I experienced in these recent years, when I went through my own trials and tribulations to did a similar experience to my mother, I feel like, just like when I was living in a children's home, and I was like, why me? And then 10 years later, I was working with kids in group homes. But this time of my journey, in this second half of my life, I feel like God allowed me to see what it felt like to be on the other side. That when I show up places, people look comfortable and tense. If I pick up a glass of alcohol, people are,
Right.
you know, because what it was, now I realize, man, my mom was from another country, came here as a toddler, didn't speak English, was raised over in Walnut Park. People used to say discriminatory things against her. And I remember them called her chinks, cooks, and everything. Yeah, I'm black, but that's my mom.
Right.
So I don't care
Right,
about none of that other
man, I
stuff.
don't give a fuck.
That's my
I don't
mother.
fuck with my mama.
Yeah, that's my mother. So the thing about it is, and then I remember watching people put hands on her. I remember when her mama died and she didn't have no family members, and the only support system she had at the time was, no disrespect to this guy, everybody was young, went through their journey, but it was this man who kept putting hands on her. And so like now I'm like, okay, she probably was turning to things like we was discussing off the camera as a coping mechanism. And I didn't understand. Then she lost custody of me.
Gotcha.
And then I'm like, damn, as I got older, I went through a second divorce. The second wife, I thought we were locked in. All of a sudden, I lose access to my children now because I was a deadbeat, because I didn't pursue my legal rights, because I thought I was above that. When I mean I thought I was above that, I wasn't that type of guy.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That law don't apply to me.
Yeah,
Right.
because you know, I thought like, okay, we're gonna be better than that, but it backfired against me. And then I come back to St. Louis, and then like me against the world. I feel like Tupac when the elevator opened when he got shot. Like everybody against me. You know, people trying to record me during humiliating situations. I get guns put out on me. I get assaulted unprovoked. I got my divorce getting played out publicly through social media. The ex-wife saying this, people believing it, not even asking questions.
Crazy work, right?
Yeah, and I was saying, you know what I ended up doing?
What?
Drinking my ass off.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And then it was crazy. And then I remember before I left St. Louis the second time, my mother, who's well into her 60s, she would and you know, shout out to your producer back, the engineer, you know, we had these conversations before this drastic drop. for this moment before God started kind of restoring me. But also, I told my mom I apologized to her for disrespecting her because my mom, when I was going through all this stuff, she knew I was going to go buy some liquor. She knew whatever, but she'll come in my house, leave some money on the table, leave some food. She had all her friends 70. They barely getting around. At the time, I'm staying in the hood, and she's still pulling up there even when the sun down. And she still would just go above and beyond to make sure I was all right, even though my siblings, they had a right to think the way they did.
Yeah.
They wrote me off. Other people wrote me off. My business, everybody burned so many bridges when I was just grieving at that time because outside of the confines of comedy or business, I realized I never had any friends. So when I wasn't of service to nobody, I will say my mom still showed up. And then when I felt that conviction, and as well as me continue to do my healing process with therapy help, shout out to the Father and Family Support Center and Dr. Rob McClish. When I started taking that,
know them names, don't
yeah, Dr. Rob
And I tell you.
McClish, I started to tell my mom I apologize and I forgive her as well, and she don't have to go out her way to prove to me that she loves me.
Yeah.
And because when I was leaving St. Louis for the second time, just to kind of narrow my focus, she was starting to feel triggered because I'm out of all her children, I'm the one that always been pulled away. So I wasn't trying to leave her. I just need to go do what I need to do to get to where I'm at as of today.
Gotcha.
So how many siblings do you have?
I only have 2 other siblings. Now, my brother got a bunch of other siblings. My sister got a bunch of other siblings. They come from families. I'm my father's only child, my aunt's only nephew, my grandparents' only grandchild from within the confines of their marriage. Okay. My grandfather had another marriage in Mississippi as well. And I just found out recently that both his wives, which one is my grandmother, who's 98 years old, are named Lucille.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. She's crazy.
I will say this. First of all, I'm glad you're still here. And then what motivated you to start focus on the family?
Well, to take it back, first of all, I started doing comedy when I first got on the open mic stage. It was 2008 at the Funny Bone. Back then, you had to get up on the internet, put your name in, see if they pick you. Now, the comedy clubs make you come there in person because if you're there, you're going to buy drinks. They need stuff. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is.
Right.
But the first name I went under was Mark House because my brother's name was Mark and I lived in his house.
Oh, wow.
And they got picked.
Okay.
And I was just
that was dope, though.
Yeah, but I didn't know how this stuff worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't committed to it at first. I just did it. And I was coming from living on Blackstone, but I was working at this one's house as a facility monitor. And I remember those guys got mad because it was 2 guys, shout out and RIP, Sanchez Smotherman, passed away from my understanding. It was him and a dude named Wine. They ran away on my shift, but I never checked them that they wasn't there. Because I was like, and I just started and I was young. So it was kind of intimidating at first.
Yeah.
You know, you be thinking people from prison, like they all just
kill you.
Yeah. But I was young, I ain't no work there. And so the thing about it was they did not show up until after I got left. So before I left, I was like, Lord, let them show up. They left to go see a Mayweather fight.
They might say Lord.
Like, but I was like, dude, I'm not gonna mark this on there. I was like, God, please let these dudes show up before so I could just go about my business. Mark that they was here. They didn't show up. So I had to write them up.
Yeah.
So I wrote them up.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, this nigga snitches. But I was young. They were trying to intimidate me. Yeah. The older guys were like, nah, man, they know better. You doing your job, whatever. But at the time, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, damn, because niggas in prison know everything. These niggas knew where I lived. They knew who I rented from. I'm like, damn, nigga.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, nigga. Like, why don't you be out here, nigga?
No, for real. I tell them all the time. What's your name, man? Oh, I got you.
So
they call. I'm gonna know where you stay at.
But see, I never cared. But the funny thing, when I stayed on Blackstone,
shout out to go ahead, bro.
I was leaving my porch light on, right? Because I worked overnight.
Gotcha.
So every time I came home, somebody unscrewed my porch light, and I don't know what the hell that means, but they always just screw the bulb. You know what I'm saying? but
okay.
Every day I had to screw my bulb back in.
You live in the hood, bro. You don't want that goddamn light on?
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably was just unscrewing it not to bother you, but simply because it was a light on.
Yeah, but, you know,
but too much light to the hood.
But the thing about it, who needs light in the hood, right?
You don't need that.
but the thing about it was, I kept learning more about stuff, and I started doing open mics. It was Queen of Sheba over on Delmar Kingsland, and at the time, Dwayne Ingram hosting them.
Queen of Sheba.
Yeah, but now he's DJ Epic.
Gotcha. And
he was being backed by DJ 76 Kid, and then you start learning about the other spots, and then I start going to shout out to Brand Explicit Thornton, I think he's in Texas. I haven't seen this guy well over a decade, but I started seeing him and all these poets, Lightning, which I heard about her from my first wife because they was in a Fat Cat modeling thing back in the day. But I met her in person back then, and it was like that poetry scene was like where I really kind of thrive from. You know what I'm saying? They had a thing called Soul Sessions or Soul Stage or something over there at the, what they call that shit, where this looks like Goodwill at now. Oh, Luke's and Hunt. But he's North. He used to be like, you know, North.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was inside there. And then it was like the place to be. And then you learned. And I remember I kind of faded off from it. Then I showed back up in 2009. And then I met Brandon Hot Sauce Glover. And he walked me into the House of Comedy. He started telling me a lot of information about him, J. Lee Thomas and Jesse Taylor. And then that's where I met Will C. and Willie Lynch Jr. and all these different guys. Princeton, dude, who was a big inspiration. Willie C., when he was talking about the comedy, those two people are huge. Princeton, dude, Willie C., Willie Lynch Jr., Hot Sauce, and Jesse Taylor in their own different individual ways was huge inspirations for me. And I can tell you why. With Princeton, he was not only funny, he was really down to earth. I don't know him on a super personal level, but he was always kind. Yeah. You know, he didn't get caught up in nothing. He did his job, but he also taught me business. You know, he's a very good businessman. From everything I know about him.
Shout out to him.
Willie C., he's relentless with his promotion. If he step in the room, you're going to know he's there. The light needs to be on him. There's no question. We know that. But it's not a bad thing. Right. And he will harness anything that was considered negative towards him and turn to a positive on his behalf.
Shout out to him.
He is the king of promotions.
Yeah, shout out to
I don't know about I'm talking about when I'm in New York City, when I'm in LA and all these different places he's been to as well. That's what, when you tell him you from St. Louis, it was no other name they brought up once I started traveling but his.
Gotcha.
When it came to Hot Sauce, he was the one that told me that he had just decided to buy a ticket and he left St. Louis and he took chances.
Yeah.
So when I was going through my journey, I listened to him, whatever. He would just give you all the information he could. He didn't withhold anything back. And he would just live by example. And to me, Brandon Hot Sauce,
yes, I know. You know,
Comedy Central, all kind of stuff.
Exactly
and a lot of the people within what they label as the urban comedy sector, they starting to mess with us now more so after the pandemic. I was in the middle ground. I'm considered like urban alternative. So I had what you consider a more broader audience when it comes to my comedy. But that was because Kansas City played a huge part into that because I was operating out of the Midtown area, which shout out to Will C. He taught me about being very selective out of the venues I operate out of.
Kansas City?
No, Will C. in general.
Oh, okay.
He always did something that had some form of class. He would not lower himself to none of his peers that would do on some ghetto shit. He took pride in how he looked, where he went, and how he conducted himself.
Gotcha.
And he's unapologetic about that.
As you should.
So for me, I like more of the urban alternative vibe. Like you think of like, the Dave Chappelle's, Patrice O'Neill's,
I got
Patton Oswalt. Like,
understanding.
So that's more of a reflective of my personality. So, but Jesse Taylor, he had the underground comedy scene for a long time on lock, where if you go anywhere in the country, his room was known for being one of the roughest rooms in the country. The first time I got to do some time with him, it was a free show.
What you mean room? What do you mean?
Well, so basically, you got your comedy club theaters, but comedians have what they may consider a room where you operate out of. It might be an open mic night, and it also mirrors what they consider like.
You mean like a show?
Yeah, but they have the room is like you used to do a show here. This would be the room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my bad. It's just comedy.
No, it's comedy.
Yeah. No. It's good. Yeah. So, but it felt like it was 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 of the most roughest niggas in St. Louis, Missouri was at his shows every Sunday. And I'm not gonna say that.
Shout out to St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, he was down there at the Starlight Room or something over at Baden, and that mug was crazy. And nobody, man, if you got a chuckle there, you feel like you can get a laugh anywhere. So the first time I went there, E. Griff, I think that's the one that passed away from diabetes a couple years ago. He's the one that taught me to go down there. And I went down there, I got an ovation. But the next time after that, no laughter. And the time after that, I got booed.
Oh, wow.
And that boo didn't hit me until I got opportunity to be inside the House of Comedy. And I was on Montgomery Street for like 6 weeks. That just sucked.
I remember the last time I saw you do any stand-up was when you had the MX.
Yeah.
That was the last time I saw you.
So that significance with the MX.
Let me take you back here real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
We got an interview. Right?
But you should put a pin in that because that's a pivotal.
Okay.
I want to get this out, bro.
Yes, sir.
like I heard your story. I heard everything you said, right?
Yeah.
And on the show, right? I gotta always make sure I like just check that part out for sure.
Yeah.
Because I gotta let you know, like, we proud of that, right? For you to go through all that in life, turn it around, start helping children, right? And doing something positive with it and not falling all the way off. See, I don't worry about the part where you said, like, oh, I went through what I went through, I lost this. That's part of life, brother.
Yeah.
Right? Right? People gotta understand that, right? It's ups and downs, right? When you walk in the hospital, and you looking at the mama, it's it's doing like that.
Yeah.
It's ups and downs in life. That's what it is. If it's flat, that's you out of here.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm giving you straight up props.
I appreciate
everything that you suffer through, right? And turn it to a positive and be able to turn it into comedy.
Well, I gotta say, all glory to God on that, because
no, that's the first.
I used to be an atheist till 20 years ago. Now, I respect everybody's personal journey spiritually, but I was apprehensive about Christianity till 19 years ago. And what happened was, in 2008, in the middle of that recession, 2006, I asked God what he wanted me to do. And he answered me clearly. He said, a teacher and a counselor. At this time, I don't have a high school diploma. I have an alternative school diploma. 2008, in the middle of that recession, he told me I was a king. I was going to lead my family to righteousness and prosperity. I did some comedy at the Queen of Sheba. When I got off stage, this lady gave me a letter named Ebony Pollard. I will never forget her. She gave me a letter, said God was pleased with me, and he was ordering my steps. On the surface, it looked like I was telling a bunch of dick jokes, but really I was talking about my struggle between choosing right over wrong. Because what it was, in 2005, I started abstaining by accident. Then I became a Christian. What I mean was, I wasn't trying to abstain. I went from fucking a lot to not getting no pussy at all. And then I became a Christian. And then I was trying not to get pussy because I wasn't trying to betray Christ. And then I started getting lonely. My first film project called Love, Lust, and Loneliness. I get on Black Planet. I get to searching. Come across a chick. We end up hooking up. She was married. I didn't know
Black
that.
Planet.
It was a social media.
I don't want to talk about
No,
that.
it was just, it was like Facebook.
I'm getting off. I'm already going off the track. Go ahead, bro.
And once I opened that can of worms, it was hard to go back in. Now I got back outside fucking. I try to go back and show up like, okay, Jason, just bounce back.
So when you start fucking, you can't be in church no more?
No, that's not. Now, granted, I'm in my early 20s. I'm 41, about to be 42. So things are viewed differently now through my experience. But at the time, I tried to get back on track because I didn't want to lick God down. It wasn't about people.
Yeah.
But now I'm outside, and you start reading scriptures. It's better to be married than burned with desire. So the next woman I came across on social media, that's the one that passed away almost 4 years ago, which is very conclusive to what you brought about the MX.
Yeah.
So the thing about it was, now me and her hooking up, we doing it. She's like, I want to have your baby. I never heard a woman tell me that at that time before. So I'm like, okay. And then in my mind, like, about to have a family, get married. We met February 2007, had a son December 2007, and then we got married November 2008. And we never really known each other.
I got right to it.
Yeah. But in my mind was made up on who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. But once again, I could have just kept it real and just, instead of letting God fix my mess, I try to fix my own mess. But I started doing comedy, and my comedy was me talking about these type of things.
Gotcha.
And then that's what I said. And then 2009, that's when I met Will C. I met Willie Lynch Jr. I remember when he first walked in the comedy club, he was telling us his real name at that time. But then he kept telling us what he was going to do. So he's inspired me when it came to manifesting and making declarations. He said he was going to be on TV. He said he was going to be in the Bay Area comedy competition. He said he was going to go to Chicago. He was going to go, everything he said he was going to do, he did. Yeah. And so I took that from him. You know what I'm saying? So I learned from all these different people, not for styles, not for jokes, not for content, but for the way they move. It inspired me to find my own way. I appealed to the socially awkward, weird people. And then in St. Louis, the socially awkward, weird Black people. People who probably grew up in the hood, but wasn't quite of it in that sense. You know, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
You know, not the people who were like the book smart, good people, but we was like I wasn't like a Dungeon Dragon type of guy. I was never that. Right. But I was just
you just right there.
Yeah.
You at the door.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
we got another interview. So we gonna get it. Hold on, one second. Oh. Couple more questions because we got interviews like
yeah.
We gonna get out there because I got one more for you myself. Go ahead.
Everything that I'm listening to, because me and you've been Facebook friends for quite some time. I remember when you started Focus on the Fun.
Yeah.
I remember when you were in Kansas City still.
Yeah.
I remember when you had to get a whole new Facebook page. so I've been kind of following you throughout all of this. What are you most grateful for?
Well, I'm grateful for
Good question.
being alive, and that at every stage of my life, God has not let me go. Because I never thought I was gonna live past 18 years old. Then I survived a suicide attempt in 2009 in March. I was 25 years old. I was trying to leave money for my first wife because I was deemed not enough because of the income I didn't bring in. So I got a letter from Social Security saying if I die, my family gets so much money. It wasn't a lot, but at the time it sounded like a lot to me. And but I said, God, when I thought I was dying, I said, if you let me live, I'm gonna live every day like it's my last. I woke up the next day in the hospital, and that's when I started going hard. But then the more I started going hard for my dreams and my goals, the more I was losing the woman I was married to, which I guess I never really had her. Then she filed a restraining order against me, accused me of domestic violence. We reconnected, trying to be together in an income-based house in Winsfield. I stopped doing comedy to save my marriage. I got served up papers accusing me of things that wasn't true. And then I was crashing in with my mom's. And then what happened was I reconnected with the second one I married, who I knew first. But when I went to Kansas City to visit. I won a comedy competition.
Oh, so you've been married twice?
Yeah, got married twice in my 20s. But I've been single since 34 and I'm 41. So what happened was that I had began to have a vision for creating a company, which was about the things we're discussing. See, I always had a human service element to my comedy. I never forced it. I just did it in a subtle way, because I didn't want to seem like I was forcing things. So, but every time I thought I was down bad, I remember sleeping on the underpass in O'Fallon, Missouri when I got served up papers. I walked from Winsfield to O'Fallon because I had too much pride to call my family. Yes. And I slept in overnight, and the police saw me the next day, and I had to humble myself to reach out to my brother because I didn't want to tell them we was going through whatever we was going through again. It was so embarrassing. But I had to humble myself. But I had a vision for creating a company around comedy, and then I was pursuing the woman I was wanting to be with since high school. So I left Kansas City, went to Overland Park, Kansas, particularly in this point, because it's considered one of the top 10 cities to raise a family in. And I left here, I had to go on to Shalom. They're talking about leaving from the shallow water to the deep. And I left St. Louis with $5 in cash, $5 on my debit card, $5, and a cell phone that was off, but the internet was working. And I just Googled how to live out your car. But I went because I had a vision for creating a company around comedy. And I actually got the vision book when I got hired to work with girls, and I told them to write a vision for themselves. And mine, I wrote June 2011. I wanted to combine poetry, acting, storytelling, and comedy as a way to bring people together. And I said, Lord, teach me how to use my gifts. That was June 2011. June 2014, I did my first sold-out event. All my events been sold out from 2014 to 2022 before I started doing this Kanye West-like meltdown. Okay. And then, so every time God kept me when I thought I was counting out. Now, the significance of what you brought up in 2022 was, so I came back to St. Louis, and I didn't realize I had a huge following when it came to my live shows and events. I'm technically considered number one in attendance and ticket sales. And my only competition is comedy clubs and theaters on a statistical level. So because I was just learning, I was paying attention to all the details on the internet and my demographic. My number one demographic is women from 34 to 45, 25 to 34, then above that. On YouTube, it's more males. On Facebook, because I display a lot more variety of emotions, it's more females. Now, I didn't engage with a lot of females because at the time I was married, and I enjoyed being married. And when I became single, ironically, my ticket sales went up even more. It was like, damn, but you want me to be heartbroken? So the thing about it, they'll tell you. So the thing about it is, I came with a lot of fanfare, but I didn't realize I had such a huge following. Now, me, I'm showing love to people I'm around because I'm proud of people from my city. I'm happy, I'm excited. But I had developed a lot of hate, and I had no idea. But so what happened is I go through that. Then 2019, I'm knocking down doors. Then 2020, I did Toxic Boys Summer. I did 20 events from May 27th to September 13th.
And what was Toxic Boys Summer?
It was I always operate within theme and concepts. Gotcha. So when I was sitting in the house, they were talking about toxic masculinity, gaslight, and all these terms, calling men cis males like he was a heterosexual. So I'm like, people think I'm evil because I got a dick. So I'm sitting in my house, and the house just made a flyer with me, Kanye West, and Drake in the background with the sun behind us. I put Toxic Boy Summer. But it was a subtle messaging that I was acknowledging my issues, I was making peace with my past, and I was ready to move forward. So I packed out 20 different venues within that time frame between May 27th to September 13th. You're here, Kansas City and surrounding areas in Illinois.
With that thing?
Yeah, but that was separating me from the pack because in the middle of the pandemic, I'm the only one that's truly working and providing work.
Okay, I got you.
Weren't you doing like living room shows?
Yeah, I did Laughter Living Room. I was doing that too. I started that 2018. But what it was like, because if it's meat on the bone, I'm gonna find every way to get that meat off the bone.
Well, then we're gonna do this real quick, right?
Yeah,
so a lot of things you've done, bro. We appreciate that. I swear to God, because like a lot of I didn't know none of this shit.
Well,
right?
a lot of us don't.
So
know.
I want to let you know, like before we get out of here.
Yeah.
all the things you've done before we go. We're filming for the YouTube and the website too. So let the people know where they can find all this at. Because people wanna hear this and people wanna know about it. Right?
Yeah.
So let them know where they can find you at real quick. We got Willie
Well, my name is Jason Nelson. You can find me on social media platforms like Jason Nelson FOTF, which stands for Focus on the Funny. My business page is called Focus on the Funny LLC. And just to say this real quick, when she brought up 2022, so 2021 I started doing film projects. And shout out to Helen Banks who helped me do that too. Was a very kind woman and very nice. Done my mama hair, my daughter hair, and everything like that. Been a very great support just as a person. Been through a lot herself and share that energy with me. And she helped make some of my dreams come true too. And I started doing film projects, but I got on my high horse, but it was fueled by a chip on my shoulder. And then as I wrap this up, God gave me a dream 4 years ago, September 2021. He told me my route was harder because I'm an owner and everything I'm going through is teaching me how to be a better businessman, and all my generational prayers be answered. Then he gave me a dream after that, said, stop riding for people not willing to ride with you. It echoed through my spirit 7 times. Then I crossed this woman who had no idea who I was or what I was going through. She said to me, it was August 2021, I was 37. She said, I don't go to church as if she don't. But God told her to tell me that I need to clean my Bible. There's somebody in my circle praying against me. The quicker I cut them off, the faster I prosper. Then she said to me that God told her to tell me, save your money. You're about to go broke. It's going to look bad, but it's for your benefit. Because I had got to the point where I was earning like $6, so a year, just doing things that made me happy. And then what happened was my car broke down. I ran through a huge chunk of money trying to keep it fixed. But I know God was trying to slow me down because I was drinking and driving very heavily at that time. And then what happened was January 2022, get repossessed. February 2022, when I was at the MX, I did my second film project over in Ferguson. But the day after, I found out the first one I was married to had died. And I didn't know where my kids was. And then that downward spiral that was so witnessed, that's where it was already on its way. But that's what took me through there. But that's what led me to the Body Family Support Center, the therapy, and getting to the point where I'm at right now.
Gotcha.
So I'm just like, today, I was almost looking for a reason not to be here because I had developed a lot of bad anxiety through these different experiences, fears. But I would say this, September, I prayed for my career. And then 3 days later, I get a call from Washington University to MC some events. And then I did my first one 2 Saturdays ago. And then shortly after that, I get contacted by you and then other people. So the way I'm perceiving it is that God is reinforcing to me that I'm heading the right direction. I'm making more of an effort, despite how it may or may not look. And as we look at these glasses, it's a scripture I keep in mind that I read. What good is glasses clean on the outside but filthy on the inside? So when I left St. Louis in 39, I said, Jason, you know what to do. You just mad you got to do it all over again. So my comedy is really about me being relatable. I was just mad because I got sick of being relatable.
I'm going to say this, brother. You long-winded, brother.
Yeah.
Like, and I love the story, bro. Like I tell people all the time, bro, people come on here unique, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna cut you short, right? No, I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna invite you back.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna invite you back, bro, because we want to hear more about your story. You can't cram it in like that, right?
Yeah, I understand.
We want to know more about it. We want to know how you got to it, right? Because you got to a lot of shit today, bro, but you got right to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
You made a real deep show today. And I appreciate it on the platform.
That's all I appreciate.
I'm proud of you standing up. I'm glad you didn't take yourself out of here too, bro.
Yeah.
Real shit. I got one more question for you before we get up out of here.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Last final question I ask each and every person this same question on the show.
Yes, sir.
Don't answer to it at all. Do you prefer love or do you prefer loyalty?
I desire love, but because of lack of loyalty, I never really experienced it.
Gotcha.
So, but my preference would be love because at least the way that I desire love, I never experienced it. Once again, I grew up without a family and friends. So I'm used to being reassuring for other people. I never felt it for myself.
Gotcha. Shout out to you, man. Anybody that said it, go ahead.
I want to congratulate you on your self-love too. When we were talking before, you were saying your self-love.
Yeah.
And, I just see how far you've come just watching you on social media. I'm glad that you were able to come out. And even when I saw your post when you said that you were feeling a little nervous about today, that's why I left him a few messages to encourage him to come, because I didn't want him to feel like, oh, I shouldn't be there, or I'm not going, or have any type of anxiety or qualms about coming.
Oh, you say you had reached out to him?
Yeah, I reached out because I saw his post.
Well, my post, I put like, yeah, my anxiety high.
I saw his post, and so when I saw it, it was probably, I don't know, maybe about 4:30 this morning.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw it, I was like, we ain't doing that. And I just let him know.
Oh yeah, I was trying to talk myself out the whole time since
Shout
that
out to
time.
you.
I was like, man.
But I
saw you posting flyers, like, yes, maybe I'm not on there. I'm like, oh, they got all of it.
Yeah, you coming. So look, let me say this.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been through so much, Jason. Like, I ain't getting ready to cry here, but you were about to make me cry for real, and I'm so glad that you're still with us. I'm so glad that suicide attempt did not work. And I'm so glad that you, when I reached out to you, it was at a time that you needed it, because I really just wanted to catch up with you, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity for you to come on the show.
Yeah, yeah. No.
So I'm glad.
And it happened, like I said, I prayed just like I was out of vehicle mom, and I said, God, if I get a new car, I moved back saying I didn't meet my daughter since 4 months. I'm not bragging about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was renting a car through Uber for a year, paid $400 a week. And I said, God, if I get a new car,
ready, bro?
He gave it to me. I wanted my home while I got it, He gave it to me. Then I developed enough confidence to pray for my career, and then things start opening up.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah.
Keep your head up, keep going, keep pushing.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Y'all
Before you go,
yeah.
before you go, I'm finna get out of
I'm
here.
stiff as hell.
You're welcome to come back into the show any given time. Just make sure you set up a second round with her whenever you're ready to set it up. You can come on
Yeah.
back whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
So with that being said, man, we located at 4423 South Kings Highway, open 7 days a week, man. We got all your smoke necessity needs, from your sheets to your hookers to your all new gas bar, all the good shit, man. See y'all, man. We got Willie C in the building, man. We holding it down, man. Hey, man, Jason, man, keep pushing, keep going, man. We proud of you, man. You're a strong individual. We won't put that out there for sure. See y'all in a minute, man.
I'm proud of you too.
Shout out to you.
I'm so proud of you. I got you.
Oh, my bad. My body's stiff.
You good, bro?
I didn't know you had this so good.
Yeah. What's up with Miss Ellen?
What those things I've done, nobody knows. That I do for a start and living in the part that I show you. What the things I've done, nobody knows.
fuck with that fuck nigga, now he just took the bag. Still come from the sex, yeah, I feel from let no face the past. Go from walking no real and I took the oil and take it back. Go outside, fight the law, I'm talking about good with these hands. And all this freaky shit like this, I get it in, take it in, look in your face like a body, don't you trying to make this. I still the finger with the heat, don't you do fucking like yeah. You know that people in the classes who just not waiting in here. Like that, I put this cannon in here. You got to speak with a number, I'm just not holding the price. You come enough for a back or for the taking. I'm life and now I'm post on the thing. How you get that day and rob it and you pick up the man. Say you run the little really do it like we did it then. Make the move for me and we don't stop switching to the bed. This is how you be out there. This is the kick to the land. This is how you be out there. I walk into the man. You just can't be out there. If I flip it on the fan. You always know somebody boy. I can't be the same. Follow me like lucky me. I flip the bread. Get the beat for me. I can't be. I'm on the back bag. Like a bougie me. You notice me. I'm popping like a tag. Keep it cool with me. They just believe I'm talking about the tag. That's your time for me. They don't pretend that a bitch is bad. They gon' rock for me. Stop for me. Boy, I feel like nothing else. They not beside of me. Obviously, I can get us out the jail. I got good from that misery. Boy, your system about to crash. Can't get negative energy. I dismiss it kinda fast. Ain't a friend of me. Who do we need to start talking fast? Keep them killers around me. You hear that better in the back. Natural keeps it with enemies. I won't move it. That's it. Conversation life and now post on the van. How you know that day around it and you pick up the man? Say you run the little really do it like we did it then. Make you move for me and we don't see I'm sticking to the bed.